I'm very excited about this festival altogether. The fact that vegan is such a huge word in the context of the whole thing. I've got the heading up there that says it's about compassion. It really is about thinking of self and thinking from self and outwards towards all others. We do not use animals in any way. We do not use them for food, for clothing, for entertainment. They are not ours to own. They are free beings. So we do outreach. We go and have stands, things like this in this kind of event. We also distribute resources. We also do product endorsement. Then we also like to provide support. It's one thing. I mean, all over the internet, we see people speaking about veganism, and whether they're doing it in a loud way or a quiet way, they're all hoping that vegans are going to emerge from their audience that they're speaking to. But I found, being vegan for a very long time, that one of the hardest things for people is to stay vegan. So if you're looking at the well-being of other people and other beings, you're going to have to start examining your food a little bit better. And in the vegetarian state, you're still participating in the violence and the exploitation that occurs with people and with the way that they're raising animals for food and for other reasons as well. Female animals, female beings are continually put in a state of being pregnant, continually artificially inseminated to create more and more lives that just go back into the cycle, back into the cycle. The life of a cow can live to 25, 30 years. In these days, a dairy cow is finished by 6 years. They're just simply exhausted. They're forced to have babies on a continual cycle. So once they have the baby is removed. So you can see that vegetarian, you're still very much entrenched, because you also don't look, apart from what you're eating, you probably might still be riding horses, wearing leather and silk and wool. Milk is also linked to osteoporosis as well as other things. More and more of our black population are realizing that they are actually allergic to dairy. Whatever the issues that they're having with their health, often can be sinuses or stomach issues, they're realizing that it's attributed to dairy. So very important to understand this top sentence there. Well-planned vegan diets are supported as healthy for all people at all stages of life by the World Health Organization, the American Dietetic Association, and the British Dietetic Association. But please note, it says well-planned vegan diets. Protein is always the thing that you get asked, where do you get your protein from? It's in everything, to greater and larger degrees. So when you want to focus on protein, we look at all the legumes, the seitan, the quinoa, and the grains, and you'll have more than enough. So this is what your vegan plate looks like. And the idea, and the most important thing that I've learned to get your nutrients into your diet, is to keep adding to your plate. Get as much variety on your plate as possible. It's not about, just take off the meat, just take off the eggs and you eat what's left. What would that be? It would be like a starch and maybe 2 veg and a limp salad. Chris Hedges says, becoming vegan is the most important and direct change you can immediately make to save the planet and its species. And the exciting thing recently was the United Nations did a big study. And they were looking at future food. How are we going with future food? And according to that study, animal agriculture is the 3rd largest contributor to greenhouse emissions, more than transport. So thinking about driving around your car, yes, drive less, change your diet. It's about ethics. The value of a sentient life is not measured in its utility to others, but in its immense, irreplaceable value to the being whose life it is. just about all of the use that animals are used for are pleasurable. They are things that we don't actually need. We don't need to eat animals. We don't need to ride on their backs. We're living in 2023. We have science behind us. We have developments. We have eco-friendly developments. We have a whole lot of choices. Animals are not needed for any reason whatsoever by people. You can start off very simply by replacing the meat, the eggs, and the dairy on your plate. Avoid wearing belts. Avoid looking at, get your little Woolworths jersey and look at the label inside. What percentage of wool is there? And say, no, I don't need that. Let me get this one instead. Encourage others to try and to go vegan. Be strong. People are naturally resistant to what they are being conditioned and told to do. It's not about losing anything. It's about getting a whole lot.